Hello and welcome back. I am excited to introduce a new game. This is an early access version of, I'm hoping not to butcher the name of the game, HIRAETH. I believe it is a Welsh word for homesick or longing, and that does kind of track with the nature of the game. You're starting off pretty much stranded on a planet, and you get to survive. This is, in my opinion, a hardcore survival. There are plenty of ways to die. I have played around with the game a little bit, so it's not a completely first impression, but that is because I was having entirely too much trouble with the game when I first tried it, and a lot of it was my own fault. Huge shout out to the developer. It's a solo developer, I believe Portuguese, I'm not 100% certain. But a sole developer put this game together, and it looks absolutely amazing for being this early into its development. It just entered early access about 4 days ago. It is on sale for 30% off until the 10th, which is approximately 3 days from now. And I'm going to tell you that despite the fact that it is so early of an access, I'm going to actually recommend buy it early, buy it while it's on sale. There are some caveats that I'll get into, but honestly, this game shows a lot of promise. Now, my little intro there talked over some important things. You pretty much awaken on this, I'm going to presume, crashed lander. I mean, I hope fire isn't a normal part of landing. And there's water seeping in from this side. You basically start by picking up your backpack and picking up some materials right here. Really easy to miss is your service weapon over here on top of this sleeper. Don't forget to pick it up. But basically, there are a lot of ways to die. And the very first time I loaded up this game, which was in the demo version, this is actually the paid version. But either way, the first time I loaded this up, I opened the ramp without putting my helmet on, or attaching my battery, or attaching my helmet. So, yeah, there's that. We're going to put the battery in, we're going to put the air tank in. Let's see if I can find my helmet. Let's put my helmet on. Now, the next thing that I made a mistake with was, if you look across the bottom, you'll see stamina, health, air tank, battery capability. But it also says my visor is open. As you might imagine, that's bad. The B key, and you hold it, will close your visor. Now it's safe to go outside and explore this absolutely gorgeous world that has been gifted us. I picked up pretty much everything that was in that first little crate in addition to the bag. I'll get into that just a little bit later. Because you have a limited capacity as to what you can carry, you can't really be a straight up collect hoarder, at least not until you determine what you need at the time and what want to have on you at any particular time. Nice little worm type creature cutting across me. So far, the only thing that I've found that was actually hostile kind of looks more like an arachnid. But I don't know if I just encroached on its space too much or exactly what happened. So, here's the first little building we can go to. Go in here, wait for the door to shut. Nice little airlock system here. So we're going to press that button to cycle the airlock and be able to open our visor back up and look around a little bit. I did have to turn down the graphical settings a little bit to get an acceptable frame rate. That's kind of on me. This is a mobile 3070 Ti, so it's from the 30 generation and it's the laptop variation. So I love eye candy. You probably heard me say it in a couple of my other videos, but well, I had to turn down some settings. It could be some optimization still needs to be done. It is a fairly early access, and the developer, I posted a question in the discussion forum on Steam, and the answer was very quick. It was very polite, even though my question had to do with something that was entirely my own fault. I didn't read the help file well enough. I didn't check a setting. Basically, I was having, oh, actually, let me show you. You see that white dot here in the center, so that it actually highlights things? Well, it was only showing up when it was actually already pointed at something. And as your looting skill goes up, the distance that it'll, highlight is supposed to go up. Well, when you're first starting out and when you're brand new to the game, you have really no clue what you're looking for, what you're looking at. But either way, because of my different monitor configurations between my desktop and my laptop, I was dealing with missing a lot. I died repeatedly. I was able to get away with using high and still getting at least a reasonable frame rate. But anyway, the setting I was looking for was under custom settings and always visible. That made the game 100% more playable for me. You may be different. Maybe you want the difficulty level of knowing exactly where the center of your screen is and when to pick things up. But I needed the help. I'm willing to wager that a lot of people do. Now, like I said, you're kind of scavenging around. Control will let you crouch down, open things up. Open sesame. Let's turn on the flashlight here. The different things you can pick up are things to craft with, food, med packs. You have all kinds of little containers to break into. I currently don't have any of the tools, a hammer or a crowbar to open this. You have to find that. It's not too hard to find. Other things have to be hacked. I don't have the appropriate tool. I also had a little problem with the mini game for repairing this. You have to find the flux sync tool first, which isn't hard to find either. Matter of fact, it's right here. So let's go ahead and play this little mini game real quick. It's by no means difficult. These broken nodes have to be connected without touching anything else. Remember the game Operation? This is somewhat like this. In fact, I'm going to fail on purpose just to show you what happens. yeah, start over. So, like I said, we're going to carefully connect these things 10 times so that I can reactivate this machine. So much for carefully. There doesn't seem to be a penalty for failing. I mean, it's not like a bomb that goes off on you, or, you know, a cooldown period for when you get to try again or anything like that. So, there will be times when there aren't a solvable puzzle and you have to hit rescan. I'm typically not a huge fan of mini games, but so far these haven't been bad. This is an example of one where you need to hit the rescan, and I'm actually running out of time. I only have like 12 more seconds to finish this. So let's see if I can get one last one here. There we go. And now the machine will be usable again. This is a recycling machine for food and med gear and whatnot. I'm not going to lie and say that I know exactly what all that means. That was a blueprint for things you'll be able to craft later. This is a log file. And like I said, lots of other little things like this. I was very impressed with how responsive the developer was. And especially considering my question was literally something that I had done or not done, and that was basically read the help file carefully. So, as you can see, the graphics are pretty nice. I'm actually going to go ahead and go back outside here for a minute. Let's get the visor. Oh, I never opened the visor when I came in. So I just wasted a whole bunch of air. That's okay. Now, the major caveat that I do have is that because it's being updated and patched, the save game is being incompatible fairly frequently. And in an earlier pre-0.97 version, when you slept, it would automatically save, and that got turned off. I believe in a comment, the developer said that he was going to turn it back on, maybe. But either way, you can use F6 to save. But you do have to keep in mind that there is an excellent probability that a patch is going to break the save game. Now, while I freely admit that that is actually kind of annoying, look how beautiful this game is, and the diversity of the objects that you're going to have, and when you're at workbenches, you know, using different tools and different resources to build items to further your survival. I'm excited for this game. Normally, something that breaks your save file so easily, you know, by a new patch or forgetting to hit F6 to save your game, that would usually get a fairly negative, harsh remark from me. I'm going to hold back on that and instead actually give a very positive outlook on this game. I think this game is very much a game to watch. And literally, for the price, I would recommend actually buying it while it's on sale. I believe it's maybe $17 or $18 on sale, which is 30% off the price. It's an introductory sale for the fact that it just entered early access. Apparently, there was a play test earlier in the year. I completely missed it. There is a demo version you can download right now. It is free, of course. But I spent maybe 20 minutes in the demo before I said, wow, this is going to be a great game. And, well, they got my money. And despite my frustration level with the cursor and the fact that the saves are getting corrupted or incompatible fairly quickly right now, I still have to say it. This is a game to watch. I think that there's huge potential. And exploring, crafting, just basically surviving, because you fall and you fracture. You know, you have radiation hazards. Over by the harbor area, which I'm nowhere near right now. Over by the harbor area, I'm fairly sure that you can drown. I mean, even with the suit, once you run out of air, you're going to drown. I don't know precisely the full extent of what you can do in this game yet. Again, it's very new, and I did sadly have to start over when I wasn't expecting to because of the newest patch breaking the save file. And it was a little disappointing to see the auto save when you sleep being turned off. There's another one of those recyclers. But, I mean, this is a beautiful world, and it shows so much potential. So, I'm not going to do a whole lot of gameplay right now. If we're being brutally honest, quite brutally honest, I know that my videos aren't the most exciting, you know, jumping out of your seat. I tend to ramble just a bit, and some of the gameplay in some of my other games is they don't seem to be hostile unless you get right up on them. Anyway, I'm sorry. Some of my gameplay can be grindish or repetitive in some of the games that I enjoy. But like I said, I have faith based on my interactions with the developer, answering really stupid questions, and just the joy of exploring a beautiful world and crafting things. You'll find the workbenches for crafting stuff. You'll find the tools. You'll find the components. And I think this is a game that you can spend a lot of time in. I've been wrong before, but long before I spend $20 on a platformer that honestly looks like it belongs on the Nintendo Entertainment System. Not to be harsh, it's kind of a hot take. But before I spend $20 on a platformer that looks like it's 10 years old when it's brand new, I'll take this kind of an open world survival craft. It's kind of my niche, and I'll take my chances and hope that the promise that this shows is fulfilled. So take a look at it on Steam. I apologize if I have mispronounced the name. It is spelled HIRAETH, I believe, and it looks like it has a huge amount of promise. So, till next time, be safe.